Today, we're digging into a really fascinating question. What does it actually take for a city to be successful in the 21st century? We're going to unpack a whole new way of thinking about this, all based on some incredible research by Mohammed Hadi Helfafarouche that really challenges the old rules.
So let's just start right there. What makes a city great? I mean, really great. Is it about having the most jobs, the best parks? Is it how much it costs to live there? It's a question that affects every single one of us, right? And the answer, well, it's getting a lot more complicated.
Because here's the thing, modern cities aren't just dealing with one or two problems. As the research puts it, they're facing a host of complex and interrelated challenges, and that word interrelated is key. This isn't just a simple checklist of issues. It's more like a tangled web where pulling on one string makes the whole thing move.
So, let's really dig into that. Let's get a handle on the sheer scale of what our cities are up against today. This is the Great Urban Challenge.
You know, the important thing to see here isn't just the list itself. It's how all these things are connected. For instance, rapid population growth puts a massive strain on housing, which, surprise, leads to shortages. That, in turn, can create huge economic gaps and social inequality. All of that pressure just wears down our infrastructure, and the whole time, the environmental impact keeps on growing. It's like a crazy domino effect, and our cities are standing right in the middle of it all.
Okay, so to make sense of all this chaos, let's try an analogy. Imagine a truly successful city is like an elite athlete. It's not enough for the athlete to just be strong and powerful. That's like its economic muscle. It also has to be flexible, able to take a hit, recover fast, and adapt to a completely new game on the fly. Power and flexibility. Let's call them competitiveness and resilience.
So if cities need to be both powerful and flexible, how have we been measuring their success up until now? Well, for decades, the answer has basically been to play the ranking game.
Come on, you've seen the headlines, right? The world's most livable city, or the best city for business. These rankings try to tell us who's on top, who's winning. But the research asks a really critical question. What are these lists actually measuring? Are they even looking at the right stuff?
Just take a look at how wildly different their priorities are. The Mercer ranking, it's all about quality of life, so things like parks and schools. The EIU ranking, that's all about what's in your wallet, groceries, rent. And then you have the Anhold Index, which is trying to measure a city's vibe or pulse. They all claim to be measuring success, but as you can see, they're not even playing the same sport.
And this gets to the heart of the problem, a fundamental flaw the dissertation points out. The way they pick what to measure, well, it can be highly subjective. Of course it is. What a business consultant cares about is totally different from what a city planner or a family looking for a place to live cares about. There's no single objective truth in any of these lists.
So, this brings us to the core idea of the research. Instead of trying to pick and choose from all these biased lists, what if we focused on two fundamental qualities that every single successful city needs? This is where competitiveness finally meets resilience.
First up, let's define competitiveness. This is the power in our athlete analogy. It's a city's raw ability to pull in investment, create good jobs, and be a hub for new ideas and innovation. It's the engine that drives the whole economy.
And then, on the other side of the coin, you've got resilience. This is the flexibility. It's a city's ability to handle major shocks and stresses. And we're talking about anything from a hurricane to a global pandemic to a sudden economic crash. It's not just about bouncing back to what you were before, it's about adapting and actually getting stronger because of it.
Now, when you first look at these two, you might think they're in a tug of war, right? Does a city have to choose? Are you going to focus on becoming powerful and rich, or are you going to focus on being safe and tough? I mean, can you really do both at the same time?
But here is the single most important insight from this entire study. That's a false choice. Competitiveness and resilience are not opposites at all. In fact, they are mutually reinforcing. They actually work together to create this powerful feedback loop that makes a city stronger across the board.
Okay, so if that's the goal, to build a city that's both, how do we figure out what truly matters? How do we find those specific ingredients that build both competitiveness and resilience at the same time? While the research used this really cool process called the Delphi method. It's basically a super smart way to get a bunch of experts to agree on something without having them all argue in the same room. You start with a diverse panel, planners, economists, academics. You send them questionnaires over and over again in a few rounds. And here's the clever part. After each round, all the responses are shared anonymously, so the experts can see what everyone else is thinking and revise their own views. You keep doing that until you find the things that almost everyone agrees are crucial.
So, after that whole rigorous process, what did they find? The experts managed to zero in on a specific number of critical factors that every city needs to get right. And that number is 12.
And here they are. Now, what's so amazing about this list is how it forces you to think differently. You've got the classic engines of competitiveness, right? Things like economic diversification, having a strategic location, advanced infrastructure. That's the foundation. But then, look at what's right there alongside them. Pure resilience factors. Things like managing seismic risks and wildfires or addressing climate change. And then it weaves them together with these huge social and economic pressure points that affect everybody. Social equity, housing affordability, high cost of living, transportation congestion. This isn't two different lists, it's one integrated system, and it proves these ideas are totally tangled up together.
So what happens when you put all this together? You get a brand new model for what urban success looks like. You get the integrated city.
The big lesson here isn't about just ticking boxes on a list, it's about building a balanced system. You can see it here. Success comes from combining integrated planning with a real commitment to social inclusion. And those have to be balanced with practical things like sustainability and climate adaptation, all while you're still fueling the innovation ecosystems that keep the city competitive. No single slice is enough. They all have to work together.
And that's when you get this really beautiful, powerful feedback loop. A city that's resilient, one that's safe and fair and sustainable, well, that kind of city becomes a magnet for talented people and new investment. And a city that's competitive with a strong, innovative economy has the money and the resources to invest back into the things that make it even more resilient. Each side just keeps fueling the other.
Which leaves all of us with a final, really important question to ask about the places we call home. Is your city built just to compete? Is it built just to endure? Or has it figured out that to truly, truly succeed, it has to be built for both?